All right, welcome back to another episode of the Fan Connection podcast. Today I'm also joined by co-hosts Bernaman and Ponch _YYC. You can check them out on Twitch under those names. I'm some lazy guy 09 on Twitch. Just call me Mike. It's a lot easier for everybody. I've been meaning to change my name on Twitch for a while now. I just keep forgetting. But we're back on another episode of the podcast. We're going to be reviewing the third round of the NHL Playoffs and going over our predictions for the Stanley Cup Final. This is honestly the matchup I think everyone really would have wanted from the beginning. You get the back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, the wall, the immovable object, essentially, against the unstoppable force in the Colorado Avalanche. This is going to be a great series. You never know who's going to win this one. Hopefully it goes well, but we'll see. Hopefully it's a close 7-game series for the sake of entertainment and not a blowout, because the NHL has had some letdown series. The Battle of Florida was a 4-0 sweep. Battle of Alberta was a 4-1 destruction of the Flames. So it'd be nice to have a close series to end it off. But to start, let's go over the conference finals. Guys, what did you think of the Rangers versus Tampa Bay Lightning conference finals? Did it live up to expectations? Did the Lightning disappoint you at first? What do you think? And Ponch, thank you for subscribing, by the way, with Prime.
I know I wasn't on the podcast for that episode, but believe it or not, I literally said Colorado sweep, and I said Tampa in 6, and I literally predicted it to a T, and
Yes,
I wasn't
sir.
disappointed at all. I was happy the way it all played out, because in the bracket challenge thing, I have Tampa and Colorado in the finals, so I'm happy about that. The only guy who did that, so I'm super happy, and that's great. But the conference finals, it was good though. I mean, I like seeing Colorado roll Edmonton. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of satisfying.
Yep.
And
Mike Smith.
And yeah, I mean the Tampa Bay series was it was good too, man. It was good. I honestly thought by the time they got to the fourth game, I feel like they were just fully in control. They made the series 2-1, and then they were just fully in control, and they just started rolling, and that's what you got to do going into the finals, right? You got to be on your game. And now they get point back too, so that's great. And yeah, man, I enjoyed both series.
Yep, yeah, and even I remember even watching the Rangers series when the Rangers up 2-0. I was kind of surprised, not gonna lie, but I was like, okay, look, you just poked the bear, man. All my buddies were asking, what do you think of the Tampa Bay series? What do you think Tampa's gonna come back? I'm like, yes, 100% yes. You poked the bear, and it did not go well. Let's just say the Rangers were not prepared for what Tampa had to throw at them. Stamkos decided to become even better somehow, and so did Kucherov without Point in the lineup. They really made up for it. They showed why they're superstars. Victor Hedman as well, and obviously Vasilevsky. Essentially, the Rangers at 5-on-5 could not do anything against the Lightning. After game 2, they couldn't do anything. It was brutal. So the Lightning did a great job. They found a way. As soon as the series was 2-1 Rangers, funny enough, I knew the Tampa Bay Lightning were winning that series. So, yeah, 4-2 win for Tampa Bay. The way it happens kind of surprising, because in a sense they swept, or almost reverse swept, the Rangers. So I wouldn't have seen 4 games in a row coming out of Tampa, but I definitely saw them still winning. Ponch, what did you think of that series?
Oh, that was good, I've been saying this over and over. I knew Shishki was gonna steal them. A game or two.
Yeah.
I really wanted to see Capo, Kako, and Lafreniere pick it up, because I said Zibanejad, the usual people will perform, but it's those people Capo, Kako, and Lafreniere who's projected to be kind of the future of the Rangers.
Yeah.
Those are the people you want to see perform, because those Capo was 2, Lafreniere was 1.
Yep.
So, and I they're still young, but if you really want to make the Cup Finals, and you really want to beat Tampa, that's not an excuse.
Yeah. And
so yeah.
And it kind of reminds me, building on your point there, Ponch, it reminds me of the Kotkaniemi situation with Montreal. Montreal's in the Stanley Cup Finals. Kotkaniemi up to that point has scored some big goals for them in the playoffs. But then when it was on the line, they chose to scratch him. So this is a kid they drafted 3rd overall. He was in his 3rd season. Which, I mean, Kako, what? He's drafted second overall in his third season, going on to his first RFA deal. It's literally an identical image to Kotkaniemi, except Kako was drafted one ahead of Kotkaniemi was, and he plays for wing and not center, right? It's basically the same situation. You know, Kako hasn't necessarily lived up to his second overall mantle. I know he does have some health issues that are kind of out of his control. I think he was diagnosed with diabetes, or I think it was type 1 diabetes and something else, which is beyond his control. He can't do anything about it. But you know, at the end of the day, they chose to scratch him in one of the most important games. You know, they're in an elimination game, and he's the guy they scratch. And then I see on Twitter and stuff, he was saying in an interview, he didn't, like, the coach didn't tell him he was scratched. He found out when he saw the lineup. He wasn't told. No one went up to him and say, hey, look, we're going to scratch for this game. You know, we really want to get certain veterans in, or, you know, maybe there's a reason, right? He got no explanation for the scratch. So if I'm him, it's very similar to Kotkaniemi. I could easily see him going to another team this offseason through some sort of RFA
I think he's
offer
gone.
sheet. I think I agree. I think he's definitely, I could see him leaving. I could definitely see him leaving.
More on that in the off season, because I know there's, at least for the Canucks, there's a lot to talk about there. But yeah, I fully agree that he's probably gone. But yeah, just to segue back to Tampa here, Spidey from Naruto says, he's basically saying, like, it seems like every time Tampa loses, it's just like they're getting the intel on the team and then just exploiting it the next game, which I kind of see, to be honest. I actually do see that. And Vasilevsky, have you seen his stat line for elimination games?
He's at like a 980 or something, isn't he?
No. It's a 991. 991 is 0.25 goals against average.
Jesus. I thought I was being generous before. Holy shit.
Yeah, like, it is insane. And
Dude.
you know what? Like, do you want to talk about finals prediction right now?
Lightning in 7?
Yeah.
Okay, so I actually, it could be bold. I'm going to say Lightning in 5. But I think each game will be close. But I think Colorado hasn't played a goalie like Vasilevsky yet. They played Husso, which was, you know Husso, you mean, kind of sold. But Binnington was okay. Smith sold for sure. They didn't have Saros. They had, who did the Predators have?
They had
their
Riddick,
backup.
and they took him out.
Riddick.
Took him out right away for, oh gosh, what's his name? Ingram. Connor Ingram.
Yeah.
He played well. Like, he played well. He did his best, but he's not Vasilevsky, obviously.
Exactly. At the end of the day, it's just Vasilevsky is on his game right now, and you know, the first round people are kind of saying, "Oh, he's not the same this year" or whatever, but dude, he really picked it up, man. He really picked it up, and you know, like, he is playing great, but one thing I've really noticed through every single game I've watched Tampa play, they make it so hard for anybody to shoot through the middle, like in the slot, or like anything that's kind of like remotely in the middle of the ice.
Yeah.
They have their players diving, like fucking jumping everywhere, like making sure there's nothing to go through at all. And that's like literally championship mentality, right? I don't see that too much from other teams, to be honest.
Yeah.
Or at least as consistent. So that's why I have Tampa in 5. I really think that both teams are gonna, like, obviously have the same offense output, but I think Vazzy's just gonna take it over Kemper.
Yeah, it's nice to see Kemper coming back, but if they have to run Francouz, I think the Lightning just fully take advantage of him. You know, they I think the Lightning could easily pot in 4 or 5 goals a night on Francouz. Just the way they play, they're so opportunistic. I know, you know, I know the Avalanche are solid. You know, they got Devon Taves, Cale Makar, Eric Johnson, Jack Johnson. You throw in Sam Girard when he's healthy, but he's not there. Bowen Byram. They've got some good defense. Josh Manson. You know, they got some good defenders there. You know, Kadri, if he's back, he's committed to playing a defensive game. At center, McKinnon, Rantanen, Landeskog, they're all, like, their entire forward core is all committed to playing a good defensive game. But at the end of the day, like, the Tampa Bay Lightning have a way better defensive game than the Avalanche. They have a better goalie and are much more opportunistic. The Avalanche are capable of scoring in bunches, and they will. And I'm sure they will. Which I think that's why it's going to go to 6 or 7, because the Avalanche are capable of scoring in bunches on a goalie, no matter which goalie it is. I just think the better goalie with a better defensive team / structure is going to win out, and that's Tampa Bay. Point, exactly. Danny says in chat, Point is back. So the Lightning steamrolled the Rangers and the Florida Panthers without Braden Point, and now they have Braden Point. So, you know, if the Colorado Avalanche can look at what Toronto did and do it better, I think the Avalanche can win this series, but it's going to take a full team effort, because honestly, what this playoffs has showed me is Toronto is one of the top teams in the
Mm.
league, and they just got unlucky by facing the freaking Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round. Because
Right.
that first round, to me, is a conference finals matchup. Every
Oh, for
year,
sure.
any other year,
Mhm.
any other
And
year.
like, yeah, and like you said, Toronto played them the best way. They're the only team that was actually able to sustain 5-on-5 zone pressure
Yep,
against Tampa Bay.
and have a
And
series lead like that,
yeah,
like through 6
exactly.
games.
Yeah, and like Colorado has the capabilities of that. They're better than Toronto, I think, right? Like
Yep,
they have
Yeah.
better star power too.
yep.
And so I think they're able to do that for sure. It's honestly just gonna like I honestly think the way the series will go is Colorado will play better as a team overall, but I just think that Tampa's gonna find a way to win because they just always do, you know. And I'm not even trying to say this because I'm biased and I want them to win because my bracket challenge, but I actually think they're just gonna find a way to win, which they just literally they always do. Because even in game what was
Yep.
it, game 3 against the Rangers, were they down at one point?
I
I don't
think
even know
so.
what.
They tied it up to 2-2 and then scored like 5 seconds left
Right,
with Palat,
right.
which was
Yeah.
insane. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah, exactly. And there's just so many examples that throughout this playoffs alone. Even I think it was game 2 against Florida or game 3. I'm not even sure, but someone scored with like point something seconds, or maybe it was under 5 seconds or whatever it
It was
was.
Palat,
And
I thought.
was it Platt again?
Oh, twice?
I don't know. I know that it might have been Platt twice, but I know he did the one against Florida and he did one against the Rangers.
It
I'm
was Palat
pretty
against the
sure.
Rangers for sure.
Yeah, he did against Florida as well, and I'm just like,
Oh my
like that's what I
god.
mean. They just find a way to win, like always. I don't know how they do it, but they just do it. And yeah. Also, another reason why I think they're gonna win is so I don't know if you guys remember this, but Marian Hossa, this guy, he went from what teams did he go from? He was on
Detroit.
Pittsburgh, and then he lost to Detroit. He went to Pittsburgh. No,
He went to
did I mess
Detroit,
it up?
lost to
it.
He went to
Pittsburgh.
Detroit, lost to Pittsburgh. Then he went to Chicago. Then he won.
Yeah,
Right? That was in 3 years. Three
that's
years in a
Corey
row.
Perry.
Corey Perry, man, he lost 2 in a row, and now he's on Tampa. It's the 3rd year here. He's in the finals. He's gonna win the cup
And
now. I think it's time.
he's been very good. Like, he's not one of those guys they add on for the sake of adding on. No, that's a guy people wanted. You look at the way he played in
Yeah.
Montreal. He was a game changer, man. Like he had the capabilities every now and then of taking over a game. He literally could. On your fourth line, he would just take over a game sometimes. He'd have moments. And you're paying a guy 900K to do that. I'd take Corey Perry any day of the week. He's a good
Yeah.
leader,
Oh yeah.
and he does good things on the ice. So Tampa Bay, man, good luck facing them, Colorado. Speaking of Colorado, let's move on to the other conference finals matchup, the non-entertaining. Well, it was entertaining in the sense of goals, but for the sake of competitiveness, it wasn't that entertaining, right? Like 4-0 sweep.
No.
Avalanche get rid of the Oilers pretty easily, pretty handily, which shows, okay, Calgary, how bad were you? If Edmonton gets swept and after beating Calgary 4-1 in 5 games, like Calgary wouldn't have lasted 3 games against Colorado? Like what the heck? Colorado's just too good, man. But what did you guys think of the Edmonton series? Was it a letdown for you as well? Did you think McDavid, like, he did his best, but at the end of the day, the depth of the Avalanche was just too much? What did you guys think?
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, it comes down to, I mean, you can win a round or so with your pure offense or whatever it is, depending on who you play against, right? But once you get down to the final 4, it really is the best. It should be the best rounded out teams, right?
Yeah.
And like we said all season, man, we all said it all season that the West was pretty fraudulent, man. I feel like the best teams in the West were Colorado, St. Louis, maybe Minnesota even, and they're all on one side, right? So
Yep.
I think all of us had Colorado winning the conference finals regardless who they played, and it just showed like how much better they are than the rest of the competition. And Edmonton, I mean, it goes to show like yeah, like McDavid, Draisaitl can have their records, whatever that's gonna be or account to, but if they don't have a well-rounded team, like they play better defensively, if they don't get a
A
number
goalie?
1 goalie, right?
Yeah.
They're not gonna do anything, man. Like the McDavid, Draisaitl, Kane can do what they want. Kane, by the way, they have to sign Kane now. Like I think there's
He
no
was
way they let him
phenomenal.
go.
He was
Yeah, no.
phenomenal
If
for them.
if they let him go, that's such a mistake.
Yeah.
The only way you
Mhm.
can kind of justify it is if they bring in like a really expensive goalie, like a number 1 goalie. I don't know how they would navigate that, but that's the only way I'd justify it. Otherwise, they got to keep Kane. But yeah, those are my thoughts on it. I just think they just weren't a match at Colorado.
Which is completely understandable at the end of the day. not
Yeah.
many teams are a match for the Colorado Avalanche, the way they're
Mhm.
built right now. And Arturi Lehkonen, guys, I said it, that trade, that's a guy you want on your team, and he's showing when he's not playing the big minutes slash the main guy on his line. Because in Montreal, like realistically, he's one of the guys you actually have to worry about because he's one of the few people on Montreal who can score goals, right? He gets a lot of opportunities, so teams know to lock on him for Montreal because there's not many other people outside of him who could generate chances. Well, in Colorado, he's not the number one guy for generating chances. He's not the number two guy, number three, number four, even number five. He's like the number 7 guy on the Avalanche that teams have on their list to worry about. So he's just able to run free in front of the net, generate chance after chance after chance, and he's putting in goals. He sent his team to the Stanley Cup Finals for the 2nd year in a row. Guy's a performer. When it's on the line, he's the guy you want on the ice. Arturi Lehkonen knows how to kill penalties, play on the power play, and play at 5-on-5. What a trade. I know I'm a Montreal homer here, and I love my Arturi Lehkonen, but he's proven me right, and I'm really happy and proud of him. So good for him. Living up to his, I think he was a 2nd-round pick, so living up to his potential right there.
He was say that again, 2nd-round pick.
I thought he was a 2nd-round pick.
Yeah, might have. Yeah, he might be. Yeah.
Ponch,
Did you like the?
Yeah, what do you think of that
alright.
series?
So, congrats to Edmonton. You've got as many wins as Calgary in the Western Conference Finals. Good for you.
2 extra games of revenue.
Like also good for you. You've like one more series win in your home arena compared to Calgary. Also cool. Yeah, like in all honesty, I think the Flames would have matched better with the Avs. I think it still would have gone to like 5 or 6. Edmonton. Let's see. Where can I dissect you from? Your goalie, subpar. How do you expect to get anywhere when like Mike Smith is your trump card? That's like
Yeah.
ridiculous. Mike Smith is like, oh boy. Anyways, no, Colorado played really well here. You know, they big shout out to Joe Sakic. Josh Manson is playing unreal. He's the greatest goalie on the Avs.
Honestly, when Kemper has one eye and one leg, yes.
Well, like Josh Manson's getting in there and he's playing so well. Great
Yeah.
pickup. Same with Arturi Lehkonen.
Yeah, both very
And
physical. For them, too.
an underrated Andrew Cogliano.
Yes,
He's
sir.
been playing so well too. Former Shark. So Joe Sakic, all 3 pickups he's made over the trade deadline, absolutely
Nailed it.
absolutely nailed them. Like,
Yeah. And so just to build on what you said too, quickly, shout out to 4M Honey. Thank you for the subscription for 3 months at tier 1. Appreciate you. You will not be getting any ads, so lucky you. I think that's how it works on Twitch. But anyway, thanks a lot. I appreciate that. You don't have to subscribe, guys, but if you do, I appreciate it. Obviously, any subscriptions or any donations, everything, bits, whatever, we all put it back into the stream. I've been pulling some of that money from throughout my time streaming, and we're going to put that into some emotes or something, maybe hire a designer at some point. Something for the summer, though. For the off season, we'll look into that as a group here. But anyway, Ponch, to build on what you said, you made a great point. Like Joe Sakic did a great job, and he wasn't like necessarily getting all the number 1 guys. Like he didn't go after Giroux. I'm sure he went after him, but he didn't get Giroux. He didn't get Giordano. You know, he got Josh Manson for a decent return, nothing too crazy. You give up quite a bit for Arturi Lehkonen, but keep in mind Lehkonen's an RFA, so it's not a true rental. So in an interview, Sakic was saying, look, yeah, we gave up Justin Barron, who's a former 1st-round pick and a highly touted defensive prospect, right-handed. You know, that's a tough guy. That's a tough prospect to give up on top of a 2nd-round pick for Lehkonen. But in an interview, he was saying, like, Lehkonen's not a guy they acquire just to acquire for one run. You know, he's an RFA. They want to bring him back. So Sakic did a great job, not just acquiring guys that are going to help this year, but that are going to help next year and the year after. He got cap certainty in that sense because he has realistically all the power with Lehkonen. You can just tender him a qualifying offer and match anything he'll get. So Great moves from Sakic this trade deadline. And like you said, he did a good job acquiring the small guys that you wouldn't necessarily think are the big fish, like Cogliano, like a Darren Helm. He just got the depth guys, good leaders, good fast skaters who can control play, have a good knowledge of the game, can kill penalties, and not be a detriment to 5-on-5. And then you're seeing it pay off in spades. You know, you got Darren Helm winning the game with like 3 seconds left against St. Louis to send them to the conference finals. Then you have Lehkonen scoring in overtime to send them to the Stanley Cup finals. Like all these deadline acquisitions and all these smaller end guys that you wouldn't necessarily attribute to the Avalanche as much as, say, McKinnon or Rantanen. Like, they're getting the job done. So good on Sakic. A lot of people were judging him just 5 years ago when the team was terrible. But look at him now. Built a great team, and here they are in the Stanley Cup finals. You guys want to predict the finals now? After we talked about the conference finals, you want to talk about Jordan Binnington a little bit and the kind of what happened with Kadri and the Blues.
Did you guys cover it last series?
I don't remember if we covered all of it. Did we? Did we, Ponch?
We covered it for a little bit.
Okay, because I was gonna say Benner played pretty well. Not gonna lie, like I know.
Oh yeah, he had a bounce back for sure.
I know, Burry, you're saying they didn't really face a great goalie. Honestly, Binnington put up really good numbers against the Avalanche.
He did play good though. He was probably the best one. But that being said though, like he did.
It's not Vasilevsky.
Like leave. No, like that as well, and like also like I mean they played Husel the rest of the series, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they played Binnington for like 2-3 games, and then he got injured. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's hop into the Stanley Cup final then. Who are you guys predicting to win? I think we already kind of touched upon it, but just to isolate it, who do you guys have winning the Stanley Cup finals, and how do you think the series is going to go?
Well, I mean, I'll just reiterate what I said. I mean, I actually think it's gonna be Tampa in 5, but I think each game will be close. Like I think it'll be within like 1-2 goals each game. I don't think any game will be a blowout. I think that Tampa Bay keeps the score low. Yeah, I think that's the best way the best chance they have to win, right? And having point back as well is huge. I don't think he's gonna be like 100% at all, but I think he's like good enough to play. And Kadri's still out, so I mean that's a huge advantage for huge advantage for Tampa Bay. So that's why I think they're gonna win.
Ponch, what are your thoughts?
All right, so we got point on the Lightning. We've got Makar on the Avs. I'm just gonna see who has more Calgary boys.
Jesus. This is all right. So we're gonna ignore Ponch's analytics on this take.
So, whoa! No, hear me out. The boys from Calgary are really good, but
the boys from Calgary are really good.
That being said, yeah, they are. Like Braden, are we gonna say Braden Point's bad? No chance. Second thing you need to take to consider is who has more people from Edmonton, because if you lead the league in players from Edmonton, you're zonked. Just okay. So they're actually tied at 1 apiece. Now, the second thing, did you touch the Campbell Cup? Now, that's a little bit of a sewer. Never touch the cup. They
touched it, didn't they?
They did. That's why, I gotta take that into account here, because that's important. Things like that matter. So the Avs, they're tied apiece at 1 Calgary boy each. They got Avs touch the cup.
Okay.
That's why they're gonna lose.
With my scientific method that I've just jumbled right now, I've got the Lightning. Yes, I've got the Lightning. Well,
in how many?
I've got the Lightning in 6, but I think Stammer's really gonna pick it up right now. Somebody said he's aging like a fine wine, and I have to agree. He's looking so
kind of like Pavelski.
He's looking unbelievable. Yeah, just like, that's right. Steven Stamkos could one day be Joe Pavelski. No,
the Dallas Stars superstar, right? Dallas Stars legend.
Oh yeah,
correct. that being confirmed, Steven Stamkos will come to the San Jose Sharks.
No.
That was a huge conclusion to jump to.
You know,
Okay,
next year's his last
you're saying
year,
the
really?
Lightning and how many though? We want your prediction so we can have it on record for after the series. See who is closest.
Lightning in 6.
Lightning in 6 from
Okay.
you. Berta says Lightning in
And
5.
Stamkos to the Sharks.
And Stamkos to the Sharks. That'll have to wait a few years to hear. But okay, so I'm taking a bit of a different approach here. So I'm looking at the betting sites, okay? Because they, the people's thoughts are reflected in the price of everything, right? It's all supply and demand. So if you look at the money line for each team, the Lightning, at least for this game, are the underdogs. They're listed at a plus 135, whereas the Avalanche are at a minus 155. Remember, bet responsibly. I'm not doing this to say make some bets tonight. I'm literally just saying it to get people's thoughts about the game. This is just for analytics here. So right now, it's people are betting that the Avalanche are going to win game 1. That being said, the Avalanche are missing Kadri. I think the Avalanche and Lightning have a pretty comparable defense core. I think the Avalanche have a better top-end guy, but I do think the overall cast is about equal. I think the Lightning have a better goalie than the Avalanche, and I think the Avalanche have a better offense. Problem is they're missing Kadri, so now JT Compher has to step up on line 2. Maybe they're playing Landeskog on line 2. Maybe you try him at center, but I think the Lightning just find a way to dismantle him. I think the Avs win at least one of game 1 and 2, and I think the Lightning end up winning in 7. I'm gonna go Lightning in 7.
Oh,
that's my prediction.
I actually saw that Tampa Bay is heavy underdogs in the series.
Yes,
like in terms of like the actual Cup champion or Cup winner. So I mean, there's a lot of value there if you actually believe in Tampa Bay, man.
I mean,
That's
look,
one thing I saw.
The numbers and objectivity states or says that the Avalanche should be better by just pure numbers. On paper, the Avalanche are better. Objectively, they should be better. Problem is, Lightning have John Cooper as a coach. He's been here, done that. He seems to outcoach every coach that comes his way lately. He gets his team playing in the proper way to beat whatever team they have. So the Lightning don't have a game per se, like a specific style they play. They just play whatever style is going to get them to win against the other team. If that makes sense. They're like ditto. They just morph into whatever beats the opponent. So I think the Lightning on paper they don't look as good as the Avalanche, but I think all the intangibles, the fundamentals behind the game, I think the Lightning have a huge lead over the Avalanche.
I actually think they actually do look better than Colorado, especially if Point in the lineup, man. Yeah, with Point in the lineup, because I think like I think that Colorado has like great defense as well, but I think individually, if you look at it individually, yes, but I think as a team, like the way like how we mentioned how Tampa Bay plays in their own zone, like in terms of their team defense, I think it's actually better than Colorado's. Or they just know how to play it better and like cater to like their own systems and stuff. So I mean, I think I that's the perspective I'm going from, or the route I'm taking here. But either way, it's still close, like you said. And, like all your points are like extremely valid because everything just seems so like. I think everyone's all in like consensus here, believing the same thing. Like Colorado probably should win the series, or maybe is a little bit better. Or either way you want to look at it, but everyone thinks Tampa's gonna win. So I guess we're all in synergy for once here.
Yeah, we're all on the same page. Just the number of games is different. I want a 7-game series for the sake of entertainment. Barnes says 6 and Berta says 5. So we'll see who wins. And if Colorado wins, we're all wrong. We'll have to go by number of games. Regardless, though, it's going to be, or looks to be, an entertaining series. We hope it's going to be fun for everybody. We'll definitely have to get some live streams in. I'm in exams till next Tuesday, so I have a final on Friday and a final next Tuesday. But after that, I should be open, or I should be much more available, at least for a stream at some point. We'll plan that off camera, though. We won't plan that here. Is there any topics that I'll reach out to you guys then? Is there any topics you want us to cover before we end off the podcast? I know it's a bit of a shorter one today, but we're just kind of covering the conference finals and going over the Stanley Cup final. But if anybody has a topic they want us to cover in chat, let it be heard now. We'll give you guys the floor to ask any questions. I see Critter saying that I feel like the Avs are the better team, but the Lightning are the more experienced. Okay, and the Bolts are not far enough behind in skill to lose this series to Tampa Bay in 6. Would be my bet. Yeah, it's pretty much online with what we've been saying. as well as a group here. I think collectively, as a community, we seem to all be on the same page here. We all think the Avalanche are a great team, but just the Lightning have the experience, man. We'll see.
Yeah, and
We'll
I
see.
think if they win, I mean, even now, I still think they're the best team in the Cap era, as in like the best dynasty. But if they win, I think it's solidified. Like better than Chicago, better than LA, better than who else was there? Was it Chicago, LA? Oh, Pittsburgh. Yeah, better than
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think if Pittsburgh didn't lose both goalies, I think it would have been a Pittsburgh Tampa Bay conference finals, and that would have been really cool. But
Really?
True. Yeah.
I mean, dude, the Pittsburgh Penguins ran
this
the
year?
Rangers so easily, bro. They got Shesterkined.
Oh yeah, no,
They
I
got-
think the
Slash
Rangers shouldn't have been
Domingue.
there. Like they got they should have lost in the first round
Domingue.
for
They got
sure.
Domingue,
Nah.
bro. Louis Domingue.
Do-
No offense
do
to him,
not
like he did his
blame
job.
him. He did his job. He
I'm
came
not-
out, ate the pork.
Sorry, they got
And he-
injury bugged by EA. They found a way. EA found a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, I appreciate you all for hanging out today. Cinema Talent, as in Danny, Critter, JTJ, obviously Birdman and Punch for hanging out. 4am Honey, thank you for the subscription. Thanks for hanging out as well. Satisfied Jake, shout out to you. Check out Satisfied Jake on Twitch as well. He does a nice community there. He tunes in and joins the podcast with us sometimes as a co-host, so that's always fun. Toronto Maple Leaf Star, thank you for tuning in as well. Don't want to forget anybody. Spider-Man from Naruto, Patrick, or Patrick Kerr, and yeah, I think that's everybody. So thank you everyone for stopping by. Danny's saying if Tampa loses, Beardman has to shave his head. No, shave his beard. Okay, that's better. Beardman has to shave his
Are
beard.
you talking about me?
Yeah, he's calling you
I
Beardman.
think so, Beardman.
That's so
All
funny.
right. I'll shave my beard,
sure,
too.
I'm down for that. Whatever. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
I'll,
I'm actually growing. Can you guys?
I was
see, like,
actually
my beard?
considering just shaving because I actually made an error. Like I was trimming and I just made a little bit of an error on the lineup.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, maybe I should just shave it all off and let it grow back properly again. Because like it's
That's
obviously much thinner now than it was before, but I don't know. Who cares?
That's fine. It's fine. It's still playoffs. You gotta wait till the end of the playoffs.
yeah.
And Danny, thank you for saying it was a great podcast. Appreciate the compliments. And honestly, we'll probably try to get one in earlier than we did this time. Like instead of every round, maybe we'll try to get another one in sometime next week or something. We'll let you know on the Discord though. So for those of you who are not in the Discord, I know you're probably hearing me talk your ear off about the Discord, but feel free to join our channel Discord. It's a fun community Discord. We have some Warzone players in there, NHL fans, sports fans, gaming fans, just a good group of people there. As long as you're respectful and kind to everybody else, we have no problem. So, yeah, we'll see you all in the next one. Appreciate everyone for stopping by on the podcast. Check out Bertaman at Bertaman on Twitch. Check out Ponch_YYC. Myself, some of these guys 09, as the Fan Connection on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and we'll catch you all in the next one. Appreciate your support. Feel free to leave a like, subscribe, follow if you enjoyed the podcast. Leave a rating. Helps out the channel a lot more than you think it does. And we'll see you guys all again soon.